Talk shows.
Hey, we're a talk show.
I guess we can be.
We talk and we show.
Oh, yeah, that's true. We show us talking. Welcome back to the Gentleman's Sit-Down. We are an untraditional podcast.
Trying to be traditional, gentlemen.
I am Satirius D. Lemitius.
And I'm Joshua Callahan.
Links in the descriptions for the social medias
That's right.
and such, you know. Hey, if you're new here and by the end of the video you like it, leave a like.
Click it.
Yeah, subscribe even if you want.
Click that.
There's a bell.
Ding it.
Dang it. And yeah.
Click it. Subscribe it.
Talk shows.
Talk shows. Why? Because people talk. A lot of people talk.
Yeah,
people love talking. And people love to listen to people talking.
Yeah. People like to hear takes.
Yeah. You know what? I love talk shows. There was a time I would record all the talk shows because I couldn't decide which one was my favorite. Do I have favorites? Yes. There are some that I watched more religiously, like in the nighttime variety, but I also like the daytime. I like to wake up, have coffee, and hear people, have a take on stuff. Yeah. And it kind of like excites, what's my take on stuff? News, events, and pop culture media. Like, that's why we're doing this. We couldn't stop ourselves from talking. So we decided,
fuck it.
Pod it.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
Put it in a pod.
Put it in a pod.
Yeah,
Slap a mic on it.
Maybe some people won't find it fun.
Who cares if they don't?
Yeah.
Out in the ether.
Yeah, put it out in the ether. I'm a big fan of late night talk shows. Particularly, I like looking at old school Craig Ferguson. You know the
He's
Scotsman?
Funny. Yeah.
The Scottish man.
I remember him. Yeah. I do. I remember when he was on. I used to watch that. He used to come on after the
Late Show.
Yeah, but when Conan was on it.
Oh, yeah.
When Conan, it was a bunch. That was some drama. A bunch of bouncing around who was going to host because it was like the serious thing. But it always used to be like David Letterman, Conan, and Ferguson. It was always the late night show, the late that was after the late show. That was kind of confusing and annoying. But they would always they'd be more experimental. They'd be more silly, more fun. They get away with the more things because it was like late. Yeah,
it was the late show.
All the, he would be flat out saying only stoners and students were watching him. The late night people that would stay up in the night, like,
yeah, he was cool.
What about him? Just like his sense of humor.
I liked his style of charisma.
His Scottiness.
Well, I guess
it's Scotsman. Yeah, they don't give a shit.
Yeah, I guess. I just
like
that.
Scott.
I just like that he was.
I did that.
I just like that he was. I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm a straight man, but I like that he always had like a lot of like women on his show, and he always.
Yeah, you like boobies?
Well, yeah, but he always had like a lot of women on his show, and I like the way he always like played this flirtatious game with them, and they always knew. Because they would, a lot of them would always say the same thing. They were like, oh, especially if it was their first time being on his show, they'd always say, oh, they warned me about you, Craigie.
Because he's a flirt.
Because he's a flirt, and he has really interesting. He plays around with them in a way that's charming and not creepy. And then he always makes fun of himself. He's like, oh, don't worry about me. I'm just the
self-deprecating.
Yeah, he's like, I'm just the creepy man. Don't worry about me.
I never noticed that, maybe because I'm a gay man, but I never noticed the flirting. I just thought he was, I noticed they all flirt. They all flirt because it's all about making the guest comfortable and willing to talk and at ease so they let the stories or whatever spill and have fun. Like I would notice they do that with even guys and sort of this like self-deprecating, they always have a self-deprecation. Again, love nighttime talk shows. Some of them I talk to people. Yeah. The Jimmy Fallon's, like he's really self-deprecating. Conan O'Brien makes fun of himself a lot or whatever. And
Jimmy Kimmel's like interesting. Like,
he doesn't do that so much. He kind of puts them down or puts somebody else down. Like he's kind of a kind insult comic. Like he can go there to do the insult comic, world, but he doesn't.
Yeah.
I don't know.
His shtick is like,
He's got shtick.
I think his shtick is like, I'm kind of already weird, so I make fun of myself just by talking.
Yeah.
So I make fun of a little bit of make fun of you, but I also talk about some serious stuff and like, you know.
He strikes me as like he's the funny guy in a mafia family. That's always in those mafia movies, and he's the guy that makes jokes about people, but it's a defense mechanism where he can make fun of people and pull back. He can read the room and be like, oh, doesn't like making fun of him. I'll make fun of this guy. Oh, I'll make fun of me. Boom. So yeah, I don't know. I get that feeling from him.
He's got his own vibe. That's for sure. Jim Kimmel.
I don't know.
But he's funny. I love Guillermo and Jim Kimmel. Honestly, Guillermo helps make that show, and he knows that. That's why he.
What do you think about the like? You think about Conan O'Brien used to have Andy Richter, and then even some of the classics like Ed McMahon to Johnny Carson's, like it would just be the guy to riff off of, a riff with, right?
Craig Ferguson had the
robot.
who was actually this talented actor who was also moving the mechanics. I forgot the actor's name. I used to know it, but he was like a comic too. He was like and he was really funny. Like he was saying like funny ass jokes as the robot.
I remember the robot. They were funny. I don't remember any specifics. I don't know.
Always say like he would do what Craig's doing, but he would always take it. Like Craig would never cross the line, right? But the robot
would let the robot cross.
They would let the robot cross the line just a little bit. Like he would always, and like whenever he was crossing the line, he did the creepy voice with it. He was like, ooh, he did something like that, and he would talk like that.
I remember Craig Ferguson being like, "No, you've gone too far. You've gone too far," or he would always react off of how far the robot went.
But it was funny.
But Andy Richter was actually really funny to Conan O'Brien. I remember Conan O'Brien Conan O'Brien is a good improvisational, like he's very smart. And, he'll riff off of something that Andy said, and Andy would make a funny comment. And then Conan will take it to the next level, always, usually.
Yeah.
I don't know. And now he does a podcast, which he's doing the same kind of thing. He's talking to people and celebrities, but he's not trying to hawk or push anything. Usually they come on the show like, I'm in a movie, talk about my movie, or I wrote a book, talk about my book or whatever. Yeah. But in the podcast, he really gets down and dirty and sentimental. And it's like, I really love listening to that because I feel like they get more honest conversations the longer they talk with them instead of like 3 minutes.
It's like an honest sit down talk. Yeah. Yeah. Talk shows are more like ads. Really, when you think about it, it's a show about ads.
Every now and again, they pull, and I know they do. They talk about the movies, and they usually will watch the shows more for the stars that are on that I like to listen to. Like, there are some people who don't want to always talk about their shows, or it's about a show that I'm interested in, probably going to go see, or a book or something that I'm curious about this person. But that's why I would lean towards certain hosts because they could be funny in that. I like Jimmy Fallon. He played all the games, right, with them, and they would have fun playing these like guessing games or the like. Like I loved that aspect. Colbert is really good because he's a great interviewer and he's super smart, and so he doesn't take any guff, and he'll call somebody out and like make a truthful comment without being rude or disrespectful. He's just like, in all fairness, what about this? And when he did the character. The Colbert, you know who I'm talking about, right? The Colbert Show on Daily Show, where he was playing a conservative. Yeah. So he was playing a character, talking in character, kind of like what we're doing on I Think I Like to Do, I don't know, to the person. And so he's having a real, it's on many different levels. It's so crazy, but he's as this character having a conversation with a real person, but getting them to talk about real shit as a character. So usually he would have liberals that would come on, and he would make these like comments that would cause them or force them to talk about what conservatives are. I don't know. So it was just fascinating, and it was quick, so you didn't really linger on it. So you know what I'm saying? Yeah. You never really were solving issues or problems. You just bringing it under the light. Yeah. Exposing it. Yeah. Daily Show pundits, like their talk shows too. I would like their take on the news. Do you like watching stuff like that?
The news?
No, like where they like the pundits like take the news and then they do satire on it,
Oh, you're talking about
like Daily Show or others.
I watch like clips from the Daily Show. I never really like sat down and actually watched an episode.
They do like headlines and they do the guy in the street and they go talk to him, like Jordan Kepler did a lot of those. And then they would have a really short section where the guest would come on and they'd talk literally for a minute and a half, maybe 2 commercial breaks talking for 2 minutes at a time. So maybe a total of 4-minute conversation. I don't know. Those were always, they left me wanting, but it was always about their clips and their sketches or satire based on the news.
Yeah.
I don't know. Some people don't like it because it's making fun. It's like, I need that. It helps me disseminate the news. Like I read the news and then I'm like, this is overload or this is a lot. And if it's about something I really care about, I can have the patience go a little bit deeper. But then I need someone to joke about it. Tell me like, give me a take, like what you were talking about. Like I like to have a take on it. It's like, it helps me sort it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
In a funny way. I approach life with a sense of humor. So I like people who talk about issues to approach it with a sense of humor.
Yeah.
That's me.
No, but
I don't know. It's not you. It's me. It's all about me. Because I'm looking at the world through these. And I'm talking. You know,
yeah.
It's a talk show.
Yeah. That's what I like about the late shows. I mean, I like in particular Craig Ferguson. Because I just liked, he was very loose about it. Like, he wasn't trying to be too serious.
Yeah.
And he wasn't trying to, like, to be too not serious either. He was just trying to, like, he was literally, it always felt like it was just, like, hang out with Craig Ferguson as he hangs out with celebrities for a couple minutes, talk about.
But that's all the talk shows try to, like, Stephen Colbert does go a little bit political on his talk show, but it used to be, like, back in the Johnny Carson day, even before that, America's going to sleep. You know, they never want to get too serious. We're going to talk about funny, silly things. And that was kind of the vein of a late night talk show, is just exactly what you're saying. A little window, and we're going to have conversations with celebrities and stars, and it's going to be light and airy. And then you have someone like David Letterman who kind of pushed the envelope. He was still light and airy and very silly and funny, but he was also very smart, so he couldn't help talking about some serious things, and like crazy things would happen on the show. And then you have someone like Jay Leno, who we haven't talked about yet, who's also really popular, who's just a comedian. Yeah. And so he never talked serious. He always surface, never went below the surface of the face value, whatever we're talking about. And people love that. But then you would get like a Colbert, who's also, he's really popular, or like, you know, Craig Ferguson and other late nights who would be even more, we're just having fun. You know, we're just playing.
Yeah.
So I feel you. That's what it's supposed to be. But sometimes you couldn't help it, especially, it depends on the person. If you're having a political figure on.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't know if Craig Ferguson ever had.
No, I don't think so. I think
Craig just had stars and comedians. And
yeah. Like, yeah, there's a lot of, like, one of my favorite things to watch Craig Ferguson talk to was, or talk about was whenever he would bring, Robin Williams on.
Oh,
he would talk to Robin Williams.
Yeah, there's always like
always
their favorite guests who would tell stories or riff.
Yeah, and he would always those two would always fucking go crazy together. Yeah, it was funny.
I loved when the comedians would come like Dana Carvey, Robin Williams, and they would do the voices of the bits. And also, there were some there's some other ones too. I can't think of them. Like, you know, you would have there's like I remember a couple with Mel Brooks who would always tell stories, like old like film stories or whatever, and just be funny. Or George Carlin, the other real like deep comedians, like stand-up comics. I mean, deep in comedy. I mean, and they would just talk about stuff and riff and have fun. Who else? What about morning shows?
Well, I don't really watch morning shows. I mean, I
don't watch them in the morning. I record them and watch them the next day or something like that.
Yeah, there's the Ellen show that my mom used to watch, but she didn't really watch it that much. And then there was the Oprah show, and you know, there's The View. And
why do you think that was so, like, Oprah was so popular? Like, she just,
I don't know,
because of the housewives that were home and they were like, you know, listen.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I feel like it probably has a lot to do with whoever was home
I watch The View. I don't want you to judge me, but I like the idea. It's all about a take. They would disseminate. They would just like talk about topics like hot topics, and I like it. It gives me a little flavor. I like a little jazz in it because they're riffing and they argue and it's crazy. I like it with my cup of coffee. No judgment.
No judgment.
No, you're judging. I can feel it.
No,
Now
I've never
see the
seen The
steam
View.
coming out of your ears.
No, I've never seen The View, so I don't know anything about it.
You
I
would
know
hate
that Whoopi Goldberg's on it.
Yeah.
Or was on it. I don't know if she's still on it. She's still on it. Yeah.
Barbara Walters like created it back. You know, she's like a famous like newscaster. You know, she passed over. God rest her soul, rest in peace, and all that stuff. But you know, it was all about, you know, she was a journalist who did the interviews, and she just brought together a show where it would be a women's point of view talking about topics of the day and the time and talking to the people, and it'd be like from their point of view, a different perspective.
Yeah.
You know, the human, you get a human perspective, but also it's a female human. And then, you know, you get Whoopi's, who's like an artist, creator, and then you get people of different walks of life, different backgrounds, whether conservative, liberal, black, white, Hispanic, or whatever.
Yeah.
Young, old, like, you know.
Yeah, variety. You know, multiple perspectives. It's nice. It's interesting.
It's an interesting approach. Do you always do it? I don't know. A lot of times it's very, I don't know, but that's entertaining.
Yeah, that's the only thing I really know about The View is what I remember when I was younger, like a kid, there was always like a hot shoot of what The View argued about today. You know?
Yeah, they're getting hot water. Sometimes, you know, you free speak, you talk freely, and then you step in it, and you're like, oh, shit. And because they're really popular, they would be easy fodder. Like, gotcha, okay. And then they would have to apologize, do these things. And there'd be a lot of talk over. People would, what are they arguing about?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
They talk about fun topics, too. So that's what I like about the mix. Because I couldn't watch a political show where they talked all about politics or events. Like, I need some movie film stuff. I need some pop culture stuff. And they would do that. And that's why it was like a pill easier to swallow. It's still a pill. You know? I watch talk shows for fun at night. What are they going to talk about? Laugh, a good laugh, a take, or like you said, that's a good way to put on it. Like, I like a different, like, look at it like this way. But don't delve on it. I can't do a whole show where they delve on one. We get a topic. I feel like we mix it up.
Yeah.
We mix it up.
Try to do different things.
Sometimes I start disagreeing and I end agreeing with you. Or vice versa.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's different, you know.
Vice versa? How's that go? Who cares?
Vice versa.
And versa. That's what it is.
Yeah.
I think we covered it. It was a good talk show. So, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
you don't watch talk shows. You watch the after clips.
Yeah, I watch clips mostly now. I don't really sit down and like wait for a show to come on anymore. When I was a kid,
anybody does that.
Well, when I was a kid, I used to put on Conan like a kid, like I was like a teenager. You know, I would put on Conan, but I didn't always do that. You know?
Do you listen to a lot of podcasts that you consider talk shows? We talked about that briefly.
Honestly, I haven't really. I don't delve too deep into podcasts really, which is ironic. I'm here doing.
I feel the irony. Because you're doing it. You're on the other side of it. And you don't know if you can like. I listen. I don't know. I'm not gonna go into that. I listen to a lot of talk shows while I'm on the road, podcasts and whatever, and usually about a specific subject. And I listen to people who talk about a multitude of subjects, but they're usually like the Conan O'Brien one or the the other people like talking to guests. I don't usually like the guest ones. I like the ones where they're talking about a subject.
Yeah,
and it depends on what they're talking about.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It's it's tough,
You like shorter clips. Give me a blip. That's right.
Well, I like.
Give me a piece. I want to.
From the talk shows, I like looking at either. See, like, that's why I brought up Greg Ferguson. Like, he was the only one I could like put on, and like it didn't matter who he was interviewing because I was watching him for him. Right?
So it has to be about the talker.
It has to be about the talker, I think. Like Conan, I was watching because I thought Conan was funny. And like when I was a kid, like I would put Conan on because I thought Conan was funny. And then like I don't know, I got older and I just didn't watch like my life and schedule changed, so it wasn't easy for me to keep up with late shows anymore because I was either working or out during late shows, you know. So
I mean, I never watch them the time that they air. Nowadays you can stream it, watch it the next whenever you want. I DVR things and I'll watch The View during the day, mostly from a previous day, and some other talk show while I'm killing time, have it in the background, and be like, what are they saying? Maybe I'll rewind it, listen to it. But I hear you. You know, if you land on, and that's what usually would happen. People would land on their approach, like Craig Ferguson's approach to talking to somebody, or just the way he would talk, his sense of humor, and then that would be all they would watch. I'm a variety man. Never landed on. I used to watch one. I used to mainly watch Conan and Letterman for a time. And then I got caught up in there like, oh, they're feuding. Who's going to take the late night, Leno, Letterman, and all that. And then it was only because I liked them better than the other. I didn't like Leno. He's a good stand-up comedian. I like some of his bits. Not that I didn't like the guy. I didn't like his talk show take.
yeah.
He pandered to people too much. I don't like a panderer. I like one who has their own take. Even Ferguson, he didn't pander.
No,
he just teased and flirted and would poke and prod, even like in a teasing nature.
Cross the line a little bit. You know, he'd get a little controversial, but not too much because he wasn't trying to be a jerk. He was just being like.
But I think he ultimately
messing around.
Did he not get? Did he choose to get off? I think he stepped in it. I think he did cross the line a couple of times, and I think he. I have to look into that.
I don't know. I don't know the story. I hope he. I don't think it was something like that. I think
he was done with it.
I think it was a mix of him reaching the end of working for the studios, and I think the studio was also kind of sensing the times and was realizing like, maybe we need someone a little more censored. That's why they took James Corden to replace him.
I like the idea of James Corden's show where he has a bunch of them on and they have crosstalk and they talk like they're at the couch. But every time I watch it, I don't like it. I don't know what it is.
Another good guy, the Late Show guy, but it's a late show in England.
Oh, I know who you're going to say.
Yeah, that guy, I forgot
his name. Graham Norton?
Graham Norton, yeah.
He's funny.
Yeah,
and he does the couch thing. He talks so but he's better at it. His I can watch. I don't know what it's about his or his approach. Maybe it's the way he talks to him. Maybe it's the Britishness of him. I don't know. But James Corden's British.
Yeah.
So maybe it's just him. I don't know. I liked his carpool karaoke thing.
I like
his crosswalk musical. They would do a musical.
Yeah.
Like I love his bits, his little sketch idea. But Graham Norton, as far as talking to them, a lot better. Yeah. Good call because I forgot about him.
Yeah.
I would only watch him in clips. I don't know when his show airs or whatever, but I would.
I don't
watch
think
clips.
we can catch it here in the States. I think it's a late
you
show.
You can catch anything anyway. We got a net. We got literally the net. That's a net and catches it like butterflies.
Maybe on BBC and here in the U.S. Maybe British broadcast.
He's got to be on something. But yeah, you can definitely catch the clips. I always hear Graham Norton or Julia Roberts or some famous star react to Graham Norton. There's always a reaction. But it's always fun. It's fun natured.
Yeah, he has like a chill vibe, like Graham Norton. He kind of just brings you on, and he just he wants to talk about you, and what the actors, whoever he's talking to, he wants to talk about them, and he's good at asking questions and kind of making people feel comfortable enough to want to tell stories.
They're also drinking cocktails on that show.
Oh,
I mean, who knows what they're actually drinking? But I mean, I think he puts a little truth serum in it too. Relaxes greases the wheels.
Yeah, I didn't know that. But
yeah, they all have cocktails.
Yeah,
I don't know.
But I don't know. It's just a show that and he has little interesting things.
It's a good one, yeah.
But James Corden, I don't really watch James Corden. Like Craig Ferguson left, James Corden went on, and it was a complete 180 of what the vibe was like.
Oh, totally.
And,
he's talking to a multitude of people on the couch, and it's the way he talks to the camera. I didn't. Yeah. Like I said, I like some of his sketch bits, but not the bits that he did on air.
Yeah. Like he's doing some fun skits. Like he did this Formula One skit where he worked with the McLaren team and he was doing a skit about I don't know, because Formula One was in Miami last year.
That word skit gives me agita. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Anyways, I hear what you're saying.
But I think that's where he really shines is his skits on the show. And because they're actually really funny, I think.
I guess skits is appropriate because it seems like a shorter thing. A sketch is like, I don't know. Yeah.
Like you wrote it out. I feel like
I
a
know what you're
sketch.
saying.
Yeah, I feel like a sketch is all written out and like planned. I feel like a skit is kind of a little more
bit
free.
that goes a little, it's like a bit. It's like a top. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
a riff or I don't know.
Yeah,
I just hate
like
the
you
word
could tell a
skit.
lot of the shots.
I'm doing a skit.
Yeah,
I
like a
don't
little,
know.
like a lot of the shots that were in the Formula One skit. He was. You could tell he was just improving. You know, so
It's a bit, skit bit. It's a sketch bit.
yeah,
bit
it's,
skit.
it's
Okay, I
kind
get
of like
it.
it's kind of like a basic idea. You know, I don't know. Hopefully we covered.
I don't want to end on James Corden. Hey,
Yeah.
Steve Ferguson.
Steve Ferguson.
Conan O'Brien. Boom.
Conan was good.
Letterman. Boom.
I think Greg Ferguson. I think
Graham
honestly,
Craig Ferguson. What did I say? Steve Ferguson? Who's
Steve
Steve Ferguson?
Ferguson.
He's that guy from Idaho.
Mixes Stephen Colbert. And
I think I was thinking of mixing Steve Coogan. I keep on thinking of Coogan and Ferguson. I don't know if they like each other or whatever. I don't get into it, but
I feel like Craig Ferguson should.
I like
come
Craig
back
Ferguson.
somehow. You know?
he's a comedian. He
I
probably
know.
has like
I think he does stuff on the internet. Like he has an internet show like Conan does.
probably has a pod.
Yeah, something like that.
Google him.
But I think
Chuck.
Craig Ferguson should. We need someone like Craig Ferguson in the late night circuit again. I feel like we need that. You know, it's too much. It's too much of the same. Like they're all pretty similar now. Like Jimmy Fallon and Jimmy Kimmel are very similar. Like yeah, they're two different guys, two different approaches to their comedy, but the shows themselves are very similar. Even the color pattern is
Need
similar.
someone mix it up. Yeah, mix it
Yeah.
up there.
And
All
like
right,
James
I hear you.
Corden, James Corden's doing his own thing, but he's too like, I don't know. I feel like
in trouble.
he's the one that's a little more safe. You know, he plays it more safe. Maybe panders a little. Maybe I don't know. I don't know if
I
he's a
think so.
panderer. I wouldn't say he's a panderer, but I feel like he plays it a little more safe. And
I like Conan O'Brien.
yeah, you need a guy like Conan and Craig Ferguson in there to, you know, just push it on the line a bit, you know, because that's what human beings do when they talk anyway, is fake fucking.
Mix it up.
Yeah, they mix it up and they push the line a
They
little
poke
bit.
you a little bit, like, I get you. I'm just joking. And they lay off.
Yeah.
They don't try to go deep and
Yeah.
tell me the truth.
Yeah.
Put a light on you.
Like Stephen Colbert, he gets political, but it's like it doesn't always have to be political for it to go on the line, you know? Something, you know, have some fun. Add something else to your charisma rather than just politics. No,
He
not
has
that's
more.
not,
He's,
no, I know,
he comes
does.
from
He's a
from
very
some
talented
improv
guy.
comedy. and
Yeah,
he
he's a
can
very
riff.
talented
He's
guy.
smart.
I love Stephen Colbert. And I loved when he was on Whose Line Is It Anyway?
Oh yeah.
He was good.
And Robin Williams was on that too.
Yeah, Robin Williams was on there too. It was good. I think we covered it.
I think we covered it. It was good. Talk about talk shows.
Talk
We're
shows.
talking about talk shows.
Yeah.
Talking.
What was your favorite late night
Yeah.
show?
Talk about it.
Or
Talk about a talk show.
morning show. Yeah.
Talk about us.
Leave a comment.
Leave a comment.
if you like the video. Yeah.
Subscribe.
Yeah, like, subscribe. Don't forget all that, you know? Check out the social media links in the
Blow us a
description.
kiss. Isn't that a button? A kiss, blow a kiss button?
No.
Come
There's
on.
a like button.
Send an emoji.
But yeah. Yeah, I've been Satirius Delamitius.
I've been Joshua Callahan.
We've been the Gentleman's Sit Down. We hope you have a great week. We'll catch you next week. Peace.
Peace.